think about what some of these AIs can do today. You can basically ask the thing to scan the entire body of human writing. Give me a Shakespearean sonnet, but in the style of Eminem, and in 100 milliseconds or 500 milliseconds, people used to die falling off their horse. A lot. You just don't read about it because we didn't take good records. If we unleash AI and the robots drive the cars and they fly the airplanes, it's more likely than not the case that the average number of traffic deaths fall in the same way that in the modern era of antibiotics and hospitals and modern dentistry, you live an extra 30 years.
MicroStrategy founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor is well versed in groundbreaking technologies and the immense opportunities they offer to savvy investors. While many Bitcoin enthusiasts recognize Saylor for his strong advocacy of the leading cryptocurrency, he has long been known in the investment world for his exceptional ability to identify transformative opportunities, particularly in the tech industry. In 1996, he was named KPMG Washington High-Tech Entrepreneur of the Year, followed by a similar honor from Ernst & Young in 1997. Red Herring magazine also recognized him as one of the top 10 entrepreneurs of 1998. In an interview last year with David Lin, Saylor shared his views on artificial intelligence, describing it as a monumental opportunity with the potential to reshape industries and create unprecedented wealth. He compared the exponential growth of AI to past transformative technologies like mobile phones and the internet, emphasizing the importance of early investment to capitalize on its potential. While Saylor remains a staunch advocate of Bitcoin, he also sees AI as the biggest opportunity for entrepreneurs, builders, and savvy investors today. In a recent discussion with Graham Stephan and Jack Selby, Saylor reiterated the immense opportunities AI presents and its potential to reshape the world in the coming years. According to Saylor, investors now have a limited window of time to get in early before AI completely disrupts and upends existing industries.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
Arthur C. Clarke's got a phrase, a very famous statement. I put it on the back cover of my IPO prospectus in 1998 when the company came public. That's how important the phrase was. And his phrase was, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, right? And that was the mantra of the great science fiction writers, where it blends with fantasy. It's like, what's a magic mirror? Well, I look in the mirror and I talk, and then somebody talks back. Well, now you take, an iPad or you take an Apple computer and you look at it and you zoom to someone in Singapore and you talk and they talk back. And that's getting pretty magical. But then at the point where they take your photo and they plug you into an AI and they bring you to life and they put you into cyberspace, and I'm talking to an AI that's talking back to me with your gestures. Am I talking to a demon, a witch, a demigod, a person? Where did the science stop? Where did the fantasy begin? And that inspired me to start MicroStrategy, and our idea was intelligence everywhere. Let's make everybody super intelligent. What happens if I dematerialize every book that's ever been written and I can put it on an iPad? Okay, well, I just gave 100 million books to 8 billion people for a nickel. Okay, well, that's interesting. That's not linear thinking. But that's like second order thinking. Third order thinking is, okay, let's just dematerialize every book, and then let's read every book, and let's give you, the equivalent of a professor that's read every book, and you can ask the professor anything, And the first order is, hey, can you just give me enough money to print a bunch of books and give you a big library? But, printing the books is fiendishly expensive for the civilization. Making you read them is double fiendishly expensive. So what if the computer printed them, the computer read them? And, at some point, the fourth order is, hey, why don't you just read every book, look over my shoulder, think about what I ought to do, and just do it.
Placing a lot of trust, though, in the AI. Do you worry about that? And people not having the self-sufficiency to be able to maybe see through some of that might not apply to them or rely too heavily?
Oh, yeah. Well, look, we're all going to worry about a lot of stuff, right? When you get on an airplane, you get in a tube and you fly 6,000 miles.
Oh, gosh, don't go on it. Yeah.
And you know that if the window blows open, you'll freeze to death or you'll suffocate, before anybody can do anything about it. But meanwhile, you probably don't think about it. You want me to make you worry? Because I'm an aeronautical engineer. On approach, right? If the pilot takes his eye off the approach and gets unstable for 2 seconds, the plane may go into a tailspin. You're going to crash and burn. And there's not a single thing you can do about it. And does it ever occur to you to worry about what the pilot drank the night before he got into the plane? Let me with you a bit more, which is, okay, are we going to worry about AI bots driving your car? And are you worried about someone taking over the car and crashing the AI-driven car? Or next time you go into New York City or wherever you go and you call an Uber, does it occur to you that no matter how well you eat, how well you drink, how well you live your life, how careful you are, how good a shape you're in, that the random person that picked you up in the Uber in 2 seconds can drive you off the bridge and kill you with no chance to appeal, right? Your life is basically in the hands of a random driver every time you get in a taxi cab. And you ought to be a lot more afraid of that than getting on the airplane, because at least with the airplane, there's 2 pilots. And by the way, it's against professional rules, and he will get fired or she will get fired if they drink, and there's another person to look at them and assess whether they're sober when they walk on the airplane. And if they lose it or sneeze or have a seizure, there's another person to land the plane.
Critics of artificial intelligence frequently voice concerns regarding data privacy, algorithm bias, and the potential misuse of AI technologies. Investigative journalist Whitney Webb, in particular, has expressed fears that AI could be utilized to monitor and control every piece of online content, potentially leading to the marginalization and punishment of groups that diverge from mainstream ideologies. Additionally, there's apprehension about AI displacing human jobs, rendering many obsolete. However, experts argue that while some roles may be disrupted, the emergence of AI will also create numerous new opportunities in this evolving landscape. Michael Saylor himself has encountered the challenges posed by artificial intelligence. Earlier this year, he disclosed that his team routinely removes approximately 80 AI-generated Bitcoin-related fake videos from various platforms daily. Despite their efforts, scammers persist in creating more. During discussions with Stefan and Selby, Saylor asserts that AI holds more promise than peril for humanity. He believes AI can significantly reduce accident rates and enhance life expectancy.
Now I'm going to put you back in the random Uber in a foreign country that's swerving in traffic. And okay, if you think, I'm too smart because I breathalyze test and I personality test the Uber driver when I get in the car, maybe you think that. Has it occurred to you that the guy on the other side of the median strip can just take a drug, drink a thing, and do this? Bam. And there's a point to all this, which is people used to die falling off their horse a lot. You just don't read about it because we didn't take good records. And if you roll the clock back to 1950, without technology, the average life expectancy was 50. If you roll the clock back to 1770, the average life expectancy was 32. People actually walked past a swamp, got bit by a mosquito, and died of malaria or some fever, or they lived in a house that didn't have heat and they died of pneumonia. And people are dying of all sorts of things before we had technology. Now we live in the early 21st century, and there's a million things for you to worry about. But if we unleash AI and the robots drive the cars and they fly the airplanes, it's more likely than not the case that the average number of traffic deaths fall. In the same way that in the modern era of antibiotics and hospitals and modern dentistry, you live an extra 30 years, even though you're taking some kind of risk when you do it. Yeah, we can worry about it all. There'll be a debate. There's going to be politicians that'll say you're safer in a car driven by a person than in a car driven by a computer. That probably won't be the case. But people will believe it's the case, and that's above our pay grade, right? It's going to be determined, regardless of what you think about it. So if you look at the history of the world through a technology lens, right, then you start to see things differently. So when I came out of MIT, I had the science fiction background, I had the fantasy background, I had the history of, I always loved history in general, but then the history of science really opened up my eyes to paradigm shifts. I mean, one of the most basic principles of science is the paradigm shift. Dr. Harvey is the guy that discovered that the heart beats blood out through the arteries. It circulates back through the veins. For 10,000 years, no doctor knew what the heart did, and they didn't actually accept circulation. Harvey discovers it, and everybody in the medical profession rejects it. Like, no, we don't believe you. Now, despite the fact they could probably determine this with some experiments, but they don't believe him. And Harvey says, no physician over the age of 40 will ever believe me, ever, right? And then I think Max Planck had a quote. He goes, science advances one death at a time. And Thomas Kuhn says in The Structure of Scientific Revolutions, when you come up with a new paradigm shift, whether it's, the Copernican revolution, right? The universe doesn't revolve around the Earth. Your diseases aren't caused by spirits and demons, but rather by little germs and, in the blood. Or relativity that Einstein put forward, in the paradigm shift of quantum physics, which Einstein rejected, or, quantum uncertainty. Kuhn says these paradigm shifts take place only after the old guard dies or in a war. There are only two ways you get people to turn the world upside down and see a new idea. You have to see the old guard die. We're seeing this in crypto right now. I mean, I go around and I'll meet people and they'll say, yeah, my son told me I needed to talk to you. It's like the 20-somethings, the 30-somethings, the teenagers, they all know. The 50-somethings, 60-somethings, 70-somethings, if they're hearing it from their kids. So this is a generational thing up.
At a conference a few months ago, Michael Saylor announced that we are entering a gold rush decade for Bitcoin, marked by significant institutional adoption and exponential price growth. The MicroStrategy executive chairman emphasized that the rise of autonomous artificial intelligence will bolster this decade-long boom, while Bitcoin, in turn, will secure the internet against bad actors exploiting the AI revolution. Saylor explained that to cryptographically sign and watermark messages, documents, and content, Bitcoin is essential as a system of truth. Speaking at the Bitcoin Atlantis conference in March, he noted, AI will drive demand for Bitcoin in that way. If you want to create an AI version of yourself and have it live on the internet forever, you better give it some Bitcoin. If these predictions hold true, the coming years will be incredibly exciting for investors, particularly those capitalizing on the convergence of crypto and AI. Please share your thoughts, comments, and observations on the video in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these two awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.